MPs have met with families from the south whose children killed themselves while at university. They're calling for a change in the law so universities have a legal duty of care to their students. Well, let's get more on this. Tom Hepworth joins me in the studio. So, Tom, what's led to this?
Well, Jo, this has come about because of the number of students taking their own lives. The committee heard that in 2020, one student died by their own hand every 6 days in the UK, and a quarter of students now have diagnosed mental health conditions. The parents and families of those students started a petition to require universities to have a statutory duty of care. It passed the threshold to trigger a debate in the House of Commons, and today MPs have been finding out more and hearing the personal stories of people like Lee Fryatt, a former Hampshire police officer who lost his son Daniel, and Mark Shanahan from Oxford, whose son Rory took his life when he was studying in Sheffield.
It's a big transition. They're moving out of their home, they're moving to a new environment, they're having to juggle finances, academic work, assignments, and there's a lot of pressure. And what we know is that that can, in some cases, impact on students' mental health. And what we're saying is that universities need to do more to be proactive in that space and considering what they can do to actually mitigate and help students more effectively.
So, Tom, what does the law say at the moment?
Well, Jo, at the moment, the law doesn't say that universities have a legal duty of care at all. In fact, families argue that the universities owe their staff a greater duty of care through employment law than they do their students. The institutions themselves say that they have made progress recently.
There has been significant investment, I think, across the sector in support for students who need that when they are struggling. You can ask any university. I think the vast majority of them will tell you about the investment they've had to make in counselling, but laterally mental health provision. So that's more clinical support, mental health nurses, for example.
We have engagement process where we check their attendance, both in class, online through their Moodle, engagement on the learning environment, library engagement, so that we can see if there are any particular trends that identifying students are not engaging, and we reach out to our student engagement officers to try and support them, and to the personal tutor network.
Jo, while, it's undoubted that, a lot of good work is being done here, the families argue that there's no accountability and that there's no real consistency of approach. Different institutions have different practices, and they say that simple mistakes are being made which could have prevented such tragic loss of life. Things like paperwork not being filled in correctly, poor or no communication with students' families, and not informing the emergency services. Now, also of institutions not learning from their mistakes. They want a review of safety procedures focused on the students, and a parliamentary debate is due to take place on this next month.
Tom, thank you very much.